it's Lori here. I'm here for another seasonal video. So I am very much a seasonal reader, and I always keep an eye out for Christmas and holiday themed reads. Last year, I will be honest, I was a little bit disappointed in the lack of holiday reads because there were so few I could find. This year, it's definitely been made up because there's quite a few I have my eyes on. I tend to do, well, because I'm going to Florida at the end of the December, I'm going for Christmas. I'm going to just pack a bunch of Christmas books. I'm going to buy a couple before I go. And that's going to be the books that I read like the last half of the month because they're pretty easy to read through. They're pretty easy to fly through. I have a couple plane trips. I'm going to be waiting in lines, and I'm just going to take all of my Christmas reads with me. And that's what I'm going to read the last 2 weeks of the month. So that's the plan anyway. But let's get into some Christmas and some just holiday themed reads. I don't think they all get enough love and attention, so I just want to remind you that they're on your radar if you're also interested in reading them, because I definitely am. There's always a Christmas readathon that I partake in, so I'm really excited for that. But let's get into the adult reads that are not necessarily Christmas based. We'll talk about those first. Talk about is The Matzo Ball by Jenna Meltzer. Here is a photo. I think it's already out, but this cover is so pretty. Covers, so this is why it was on my radar first of all. But this book, according to a summary, is a laugh out round all terrific read. So there's a nice Jewett girl with a shameful secret. She loves Christmas. For decades, she's hidden her career as a Christmas romance novelist from her family. Her talent has made her a bestseller, even as her chronic illness has always kept her kind of love. She writes about Out of Reach, but when her diversity-conscious publisher insists she write a Hanukkah romance, her well of inspiration suddenly runs dry. Hanukkah's not magical, it's not merry, it's not Christmas. Desperate to not lose her contract, Rachel's determined to find her muse at the Matzah Ball, a Jewish music celebration, the last of Hanukkah, even if it means working for her summer camp arch enemy Jacob Greenberg. And I'm sure this will be love to hate. I think that's awesome that she's a Christmas romance novelist. I love those books, hence this video. But that's really, really fun. So I'm hoping to get my hands on this the next time I pop into Barnes & Noble. It sounds like it would be a perfect Christmas or wintry read, and I'm really excited for it. What I'm going to talk about is also not Christmas themed, and it is called A Holly Jolly Diwali. And again, here is a pretty photo. I love the diversity of these reads. I love reading about experiences that are not mine. I love reading about holidays and cultures that are not mine. I just think it's fascinating. But this book sounds right up my alley. A type A data analyst discovers her free spirit side on an impulsive journey from bustling Mumbai to the gorgeous beaches of Goa and finds love waiting for her on Christmas morning. She is a very type A person. She has always loved the arts, but she, in fear of that job or like that job stability not working, she winds up becoming a data analyst. But when she gets let go, she winds up kind of throwing caution to wind and go to her friend's wedding. But when she winds up meeting a beautiful British man, it kind of turns her life upside down. This again sounds perfect. I'm really excited for this book. I want to read it. Hopefully I will get it on my next shopping trip, but it sounds great. And I love the travel element. I love to personally travel during the holidays, so this is really, really fun. And I hope I also learn more about the Diwali holiday and stuff like that. That just seems interesting to me. So again, another book I would definitely recommend you check out if you're looking for some wintry reads that are not necessarily Christmas based. Yeah, and now let's get to the young adult books that I'm really excited for. Physical reads that I did buy a little bit early, so I do have them, but I haven't read them yet. One book in this video I have actually read already because it was a library hold that I had to read a little bit quickly, so keep an eye out for that. But the first one I want to talk about is Blame It on the Mistletoe by Beth Garrett. And this is about it follows two characters. Elle, she's a social media star, and she lives a dream life, but she wants to kind of shake it up to gain new followers. So she wants to find a British fan to switch life with her. And then she finds Holly, who loves everything about Christmas, but after a mortifying disaster, she winds up deciding to swap places with Elle. And it just sounds great. Elle settles into her new surroundings and she gets more she's bargained for when she meets the charming British boy across the street. And Holly wasn't expecting to come face to face with Elle's twin brother, or that he would be just what she was looking for. Elle and Holly trading places might just prove to be the perfect present. I think that sounds really, really cute. Again, it's not, I think it sounds delightful. It sort of reminds me of a holiday movie. I am really excited for this one, and it is actually pretty long, so hopefully this one might be like my book I read on one of the plane trips, because it is pretty long, but I tend to fly through romances. So, and then the other one that I have a physical copy of is The Holiday Switch by Tef Marcello. And this follows little Lila Santos. She is ready for her last winter break of high school. She lives in Holly Jolly, New York, and it's just a small Christmassy village. It's the setting of the greatest film of all time, Holiday on the Lake. While she moonlights as an anonymous book blogger. Oh, I'm very excited. But her perfect holiday plans are crashed to a halt when the boss's frustratingly cute when the boy's cute nephew becomes her coworker, and drama ensues. I'm really excited for this one. This is definitely a shorter one. This is one of the holiday underline books. I'm really excited for this one. It sounds really cute. I've never read anything by Tiff Marcella before, so hopefully this one will be my first book by her, and then I'll dive back to her backlist. She writes mostly adult, but this one was a new adult, young adult one that I'm really excited for. The other couple books I don't have physical books are, but I'm going to talk about Dreaming of a Wyatt Christmas by Tiffany Schmidt. Here is a photo. That wrote the Bookish Boyfriend series, and this one has to do with babysitting. Ballet and babysitting bring two teens together in a very merry holiday rom-com from the author of the acclaimed Bookish Boyfriend series. You have Noelle Partridge, who is known for three things: being the best in ballet, babysitter, and the person with the most Christmas spirit in her town. But lately, she is bored by her dance school. But she gets asked to go on a ski trip over winter break with her babysitting clients, and then she wounds up kind of meeting a boy on this trip, and there's a lot of babysitting drama, but also holiday drama. That sounds perfect. I'm really excited for this one. I still have to buy this one or get it from my library, but I'm very excited, and I love the babysitting elements. I'm also a theater teacher, so any art connections, it's always intriguing to me. And I love potentially hate to love romance. I always like this, or friend to lovers. I really easy with my romance tropes, but those are the two that I have an eye out for, and it looks like this one might be either or. So I'm excited for this one. There also is travel connected to this book because she does travel somewhere, which I'm all here for. And then the next book we are going to chat about is, let me just find the title. It is, so this is Christmas, and I'll attach a photo for y'all. Of this book, and I am automatically want it in my possession right now. But you basically follow this girl, and she goes home to her small town after being at a boarding school, and everything is wrong. Her best friend is dating her ex-boyfriend, her parents are getting divorced, her arch enemy is working at her grandma's inn, and she spies on her doorstep a young boy that I guess she went to boarding school with, where she promised him the best Christmas ever, and he is here demanding that she fulfill that promise. This sounds delightful. I love this concept. I adore it. Again, this one might have to get bought, but it just sounds so cute. It sounds like a perfect holiday rom-com. I'm really excited for it, and you should be too. We're going to chat about are all adult Christmas rom-coms. I have read one, so I'll talk about that one first, but we're going to talk about the Christmas swap. And here's a photo. Is The Holiday Swap. I actually did read this one. I read this one when I was not feeling my best, but I did like it. It reminded me a lot of a Hallmark movie, but you basically follow these two identical twin sisters. And when one sister who works at a baking show, sort of on the Food Network, she winds up getting smacked in the head. She winds up losing her taste and her smell. She winds up swapping places with her identical twin sister who works at her family's bakery, and their lives sort of get turned on its head. It's a very, very cute story. There's a lot of miscommunication issues in this story, but it was a delight. I read it in 2 days. It was very, very quick. I liked the romance. It was fun. It was very, very wintry, very, very Christmassy, and just a fun read. So definitely check it out if you're looking for a read like that. I also really like the twin elements. I love books about twins, so definitely a delight. The next book we're going to chat about is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Here is a photo. Funny premise because I actually work in the arts, and one of the girls I used to know did the Macy's like Christmas displays a while ago. I don't know if she still does it. She was a set designer, but this one sounds fun. So basically it's set in New York City. I love Christmas books set in New York City. They're so fun. And she's sort of looking at these window displays, and this guy comes up and asks her opinion, and she says it's a tragedy. He unknowingly he runs this building, and she winds up working under him, and she thinks he's very, very cute and very, very handsome. I'm sure romantic things happen. But I wonder if they're going to lose the battle of their emotions. And it just sounds great. I love books set the holidays, like in New York, because I just think that that's a fun time. I'm sure there will be some Christmas drama, romance drama. I'm all here for it. But it sounds great. And I haven't read anything by Tessa Bailey before, but I've heard really, really good things. So this might be the first book that I devour. And then the next book I am going to chat about is Nick and Noelle's Christmas playlist. Here is a photo. Much about this book, but it seems that these two young characters, have known each other their whole lives. They work together at a Christmas tree farm, and they wouldn't dream of crossing their lives to become something more. But then holiday romance occurs. And I'm really excited for this one. It sounds like it might be like friends to lovers, which again is a trope that I really, really enjoy. But yeah, I guess he has to show him after there's a cheating ex involved that Christmas can still be wonderful. And I think that's really, really cool. And it just reminds me of Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, which I'm sure it's like a takeoff of. But I'm really excited for this one as well. So it should be fun. And I'll definitely give you guys my thoughts as I get around to reading them. This next one I just added on here because I got it on my Kindle for really, really cheap. So I'm just going to add it. But it is called, let me see if I can get the title for you. It is called The Post Box at the North Pole. And here's a photo. Character who really hates Christmas, but after the tragic death of her mother, she thinks Christmas has lost her magic. When she gets an unexpected call from her father, she has to kind of go down to this small Christmas village after her father has had a heart attack. She winds up encountering this young, gorgeous man, and they sleigh ride through the northern lights, guiding their way. But when they encounter sacks of unopened Santa letters that children and adults from around the world would write letters to Santa, she realizes she could send a little bit of magic out into the world by replying to some of them. That sounds so cute. That sounds perfect. I really am excited for this one. I hope I get around to reading it. Maybe a book I take on my Kindle when I go to Florida, because it's probably like a little bit shorter and I could bring it on the plane. But yeah, so these are all the Christmas books that I am super excited for. I know I'm probably missing some, but let me know in the comments if you like to read holiday reads. I definitely do. And I'll talk to you guys soon for my next video. Bye, friends.